Hey guys, are you ready for another art lesson? We're getting ready to do a spring bouquet. A bouquet is a grouping of flowers, and so what we're going to do today is we are going to learn to draw a still life. A still life is something that does not move. It doesn't have arms and legs to wiggle around. It's not a puppy or a kitten or a person. It can be a bowl of fruit, it can be flowers, it can be a stack of your toys. There's a lot of really fun ways that you can draw still lifes with different objects around the house. So I'm going to make up my own imagination bouquet for this picture today, and you guys are going to be able to decide what flowers you want to put in your vase or vase or bowl or pot, whatever you want to do with your flowers. We're going to start with a couple of basics. So I'm going to use a vertical sheet of paper. I am going to just draw on the whiteboard for this right now so I can erase and show you a couple different ways to do it. So I am drawing a rectangle, but you do not need to do this. This is just going to be your paper. Okay, so do not draw that rectangle. This is just the shape of your paper. What we're going to do is our still life, our flowers, are going to be the main part of our picture, so they need to be pretty big. They need to be the focal point, which means the most important part of the picture. So I'm going to put them right in the middle, but we need our flowers to be in some sort of a container or vessel. So that could be a lot of different shapes, but we want to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional, meaning it has form instead of just shapes. Shapes are flat, forms are three-dimensional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a really basic looking vase. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to draw two diagonal lines, just like that. And they're at an angle. Okay, think about a V, but then, the pieces are spread apart, okay? Now, the top is going to be wider than the bottom, than the base. And what we want to do now is we want to create a sense of form on this. And so what we want to do to connect these two lines, instead of a straight line, like that, we're going to curve it slightly, kind of like a smile. And it makes it look a little bit more rounded at the bottom, which is a good thing. Now we're going to do the same thing at the top. Up at the top, the opening is going to be called something called an ellipse, which is basically like an oval that's been squished down. So up here, I'm going to draw an empty vase to start with. So you're going to draw this lightly with your pencil so that you can erase later on. I'm going to draw a curved line into an oval. So it's like an oval, but it's squished down. So I'm going to show you that again. Okay, so think of an oval, but it's squished. I can even do it from the top this time. Okay, so now it's an empty vase, ready for our flowers. So what I want to do here is I want to have a number of flowers up the top, in the middle, and at the bottom. I can do all different shapes and sizes, or they can all be the same kind of flower. It's completely up to you. But what I like to do is start with maybe the middle shape if you're going to do a flower that has a round center with the petals. So I'm going to do a couple of those up here, and I'm going to start with the rounded shape. Oh, do you see how I drew over that? That's okay because I'm going to erase that line. Okay, so now that I have a few flowers drawn, just the centers, now I'm going to go back and add the petals with just a couple of curved lines, almost like an oval again, like our ellipse, only they're going to connect to the circle, almost like a sun ray. So watch, I'm going to go out and in. And I'm going to do this all the way around my circle, all the way around the circumference of my circle. So it looks like it's got lots of pretty petals. Okay, so that's my first one, and I'm going to do the same thing on all of these because I want them all to be the same kind of flower. And if you accidentally get them too close together, that's okay because in a bouquet, a gathering of flowers, a lot of times there is overlap, and that's a good thing. You want it to look like a big bunch of flowers, and that really helps. So right here, you can see that it's gonna be really close, so I'm just gonna draw as far as I can and then stop. Oh, see, draw as far as I can and stop. I can't go any further with that, but it looks like they're really close together, that they're actually covering at each other, that overlapping that's happening. All right, one more. You can get pretty quick with this. Ooh, okay, so those are all one type of flower. I haven't even drawn the stems yet, and that's okay. They're just floating around right now. Now on the other side, I'm going to try a different shape of flower. I'm going to try to do more of a tulip shape. And I'm going to make almost the same shape as my petals, but it's going to be pointed at the top. Like a raindrop, almost. Now on this one, there's not a rounded center that you see. You just see it from the outside. So I'm going to bring another teardrop shape or raindrop shape up on one side, and I'll do this on the other. I like that shape, so I'm going to go ahead and draw some more of those flowers on the other side. Now usually on a bouquet, these flowers are probably mixed together so that they are not all one kind of flower on one side and one on the other. And then even, you can see here that these petals are a little farther apart than I think I want, so I'm going to put some petals on the other side, just some pointy shapes, so it looks like you can see onto the other side of the flower as well. Okay, so I have two different kinds of flowers. You can choose to do one of these, or you can choose to do your own. You can do roses, you can do irises, daffodils. There's so many different kinds of pretty spring flowers. Now, I'm going to draw myself some stems. I'm going to use a green so that you guys can see where I'm crossing over lines, and I may need to do some erasing. So I'm going to come down here at the bottom and start there first. And I don't want the lines to just be sticks like this, even though I'm using green. I want them to be thick, so I want each stem to be two parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines that go next to each other, but they don't intersect. They're just going all the way down. Up here. And they don't have to be perfectly straight. I'm just drawing the stems right now. And if they're overlapping so much that you don't need to draw a stem, you don't have to draw one. And I'm going to add some flowers on those stems. And you can draw some flowers over here too if you don't have room for the stems. But anywhere where you see that line from my ellipse, I'm just going to erase that because I don't want my leaf to look transparent. That means see-through. These stems are what we call opaque. You can't see through it. It's nice and solid. Kind of like my shirt. That's opaque. You can't see through it. All right. So we have all of our little sunflowers or daisies with stems, and now we've got our tulips over here, which I'm going to do a slightly different shape of leaf on that. So you can see two parallel lines, erase the line in the middle, two parallel lines, erase that little black line. We got this long one here. Now instead of doing the short little leaves like this, I'm going to do some long leaves. Okay, so now we have two different kinds of flowers with stems, with leaves, and it's looking pretty full. If you wanted to go through and add some more flowers, you're more than welcome to do that because you can still, see a little bit behind. Now that we have our flowers, you can go back down to the vase. You can either decorate your vase or you can leave it solid, like a solid color if you want. Now if you want to make it look transparent like glass, you could draw the stems going in to the water if you wanted to. That is just a choice that you'll have to make yourself. And you could draw the water, which looks like an ellipse as well. Okay? If you don't want to do that, don't do it. I think it's much easier and a little bit more fun to draw a pattern on your vase. So if you're going to use stripes, you want to try to follow the shape of this line at the bottom of your vase so that it looks three-dimensional. So it's going to be a curved line instead of a straight across line. Stripes. Looks cute. I like it. Okay. You could also do anything like polka dots or hearts, or you could write I love mom or I love my puppy. Whatever you want to put on it, it's fine. I'm going to put some hearts on my vase, just so it's more fun to color. We are almost done with our spring bouquet. The only thing left you need to add is a base for your vase, to sit on. So right now it looks like it's floating, which, it could be a magic vase. It could have wings on it if you wanted to, but I want mine to sit on a table because we're drawing still lifes, and a flying vase is probably something that moves around, right? So it's going to be still, it's going to be on a table. I don't want to put my line way down here because it looks like my vase is about to fall off the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw with a black first here. I'm going to draw about halfway up my vase. And I'm going to draw a horizontal line that stops, then skips over about the same space, and then draws over to the other side. So now my vase looks like it's sitting on a table, maybe at a dinner table, maybe on a kitchen counter, maybe in a bathroom, I don't know. But I like this. So you can choose to leave it like this. Your vases already have decorations on them. Your flowers are beautiful. When you add color, you're not going to need to put anything in the background unless you just want to. You could always put some petals down here. Maybe you're drawing a still life of a Mother's Day or Grandparents' Day, and you've got like a card next to it. Maybe you've got a cupcake next to it. There's different things that you can add to make this picture a little bit more interesting, but the bouquet is enough. The bouquet is going to be awesome. I will include some worksheets of different ways to draw flowers, so you can choose to draw one of those flowers in your bouquet, or you can draw all different kinds, imagination flowers. They can have faces, they can have sunglasses on them. Okay, they can be whatever you want them to be. But I'm so glad that we got to draw this together, and I can't wait to see them. Remember, draw on day 1, color on day 2, and I can't wait to see the finished product on your second art day. All right, bye guys.